was about, I guess, narrowing down every area that we could think of to try and find that one spot or limit the areas that it possibly could be.
Detective Senior Constable Scott Craddock has driven this isolated road too many times, sent on a search odyssey by the confessions of Michael Atkins.
And did you feel that he was forthcoming, that he was trying to pinpoint?
Yeah, on the night he was quite animated, and it's hard. This road changes at night as well. It's quite different from day to night.
In the wee hours of the morning last November, Michael Atkins retraced this dreadful drive for police, using his own mud map to try to remember exactly where in this bushland he buried his young boyfriend, Matt Leveson.
So what did Michael Atkins tell you about how he brought Matt down, where Matt was?
He placed Matt in the boot, and if you can see in the boot, there was in fact a stereo system in the back of the car, and he removed that so he had enough room to put Matt's body in the boot. He had wrapped Matt in a blanket or a sheet.
It was a dark and tragic secret Atkins had kept for a decade. It was only when threatened with jail for lying to the coroner's court that he finally admitted he disposed of the young man's body.
So Gary, this is actually Matt's car?
Yes, that's correct.
Detective Chief Inspector Gary Jubilan had Atkins relive the night many times, even getting Atkins to drive Matt's car, as he did on the night he dumped him.
To have this man at that time, a potential murderer, retracing his steps in such a ghoulish kind of way, what was that like?
It was ghoulish. It's probably a good way of describing it, because it's a tragic set of events that have occurred, and here we are trying to recreate it and get him back into the mindset so he could accurately recreate it.
Police even used hypnosis and, on the advice of forensic psychologist Dr. Sarah Yule, a mannequin to replicate Matt's body to help trigger Atkins' memory.
We had discussions about keeping the atmosphere reasonably relaxed and non-intimidating, and also about the importance of making it as close to the reality of that event as it could be. Not only, was it daylight, was it nighttime, the visual sensations, but also the physical sensations and having to move a body, that can assist in achieving additional information.
How traditional, well accepted were your methods in this investigation?
There was nothing traditional about this case. To me, it looked like it was a person who was trying to help us locate the body. He appeared to be genuine in that regards. So we created an environment in which he felt comfortable and relaxed to try and recall what had happened.
In November last year, Atkins said this was the spot where he buried Matt's body, which launched an extensive police search that came up with nothing. For Mark and Faye, it was just further torment. So did you think at that point that Michael Atkins might be going to jail for perjury, or did you expect him to come up with another search site?
Yes, I was hoping that at that stage that it looked like he might go to jail and with luck be killed in jail.
That's what you want?
Why not?
Is that what you want?
Yes.
You want him dead?
Yes. Slowly, painfully. Not in my hand, but if comes as a job, yes.
As another search was launched at another site, police tried to find an even greater truth. How did Matt die? Atkins tells police he thinks it could have been an accidental drug overdose, and for the first time admits to what he did next.
He provided a version of events that he was at the Arc nightclub with Matt. There was a bit of arguing on the way home. Matt didn't want to go home, and then when they've got home, they still weren't talking. And Atkins' account is that when he woke up in the morning, he'd slept in the lounge, that Matt was deceased in the bedroom. He then provided us an account of what took place that day. He went to a Bunnings hardware store and purchased a mattock and duct tape with the express purpose of using that equipment to dispose of Matt's body. He then stayed in the apartment the rest of the afternoon into the evening until it got quite late at night. He then used Matt's car He found the location that he thought it was suitable to bury Matt's body. He then dug a grave and put Matt's body in the grave.
Before he buried Matt, as he waited for dark, it's believed Atkins was online, already looking for new sexual partners. What does that tell you about this person?
It confirms all that we think. This is an individual that we consider as a psychopath, has no guilt, no remorse, no emotions. He'll use emotions to get his own way, but fake emotions. But he's controlling, domineering, and that's the way he is.
Knowing he would go to jail if he didn't deliver Matt's body, Atkins was adamant the grave was in the first place he'd selected. Even though it had been searched once before, Gary Jublin agreed to try again. This time, Mitch Loam was behind the controls.
How did you feel about doing the job?
Oh, well, the boss just said to me, parents need closure, so whatever you do, find him.
Did you believe that you could?
Well, we were hoping we could. As long as he was here, we were going to find him.
Having spent many off-duty hours here already, Detective Senior Constable Scott Craddock was now overseeing this last effort. It was the final hour in the final day of searching, and Scott made the fateful decision to get Mitch to knock over a small palm.
On that occasion, I looked down and I got a closer look, and I looked back at Mitch and I sort of just said, I think we found him.
It was a look about Scott on this particular point in time where I thought, this is serious. And then he took me to the site, and what I could see, what was obvious to me, that it was human remains, and I'm getting a chill just talking about it, and I certainly got a chill at the time, and I sort of looked at Scott and he looked at me and we said, well, we better go tell him.
The walk over to them felt like a lifetime. To say, I think we found Matt, and to see their reaction, yeah, it was hard to, in that moment, to know what to do, to see the emotion on Faye, and you're telling them something that they longed for, but that longing is something that's a horrible end as well.
So full of grief.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They found your boy.
And Scott and Mitch are my heroes, the most humble people. But they found Maddie for me.
The tenacity of the police during this part of the case, how would you describe that?
Fantastic.
Amazing. You could not get a more dedicated, professional team that we have at the moment. They are just amazing.
And they wouldn't take no for an answer either.
They're like you guys.
Yeah, they said that we spurred the one, they spurred us on, so it was mutual.
It seems inconceivable that having led police to Matt's body, Atkins can now simply walk away. His deals mean he can't be prosecuted. The coroner is yet to give her findings on the manner and cause of Matt's death. But in an incredible twist, police say it's not just the deals that protect Michael Atkins. Their new opinion is that his account, that he did not murder Matt, cannot be dismissed.
His account of it was that he believed that Matt had died of a drug overdose.
Having cross-examined him, do you believe his account?
We present the evidence to the coroner, and that it's more appropriate that the coroner talks about whether he was truthful. What I can say is that on the information he provided is consistent with the facts that we know, and it also led to the recovery of Matt's body.
If the truth is that Matthew Leveson died of an accidental drug overdose, that makes Michael Atkins many things, but it does not make him a murderer. It's a truth Mark and Faye will never accept.
You might be cold and callous, completely heartless, unable to grieve for your son, but does that necessarily make him a murderer?
No, it doesn't, but the circumstances do.
The circumstances don't prove that he's an idiot who made the wrong decision.
We don't think so.
Why would we accept somebody who's lied for 9.5 years that all of a sudden he's going to tell the truth?
Perhaps one of the reasons is because the police you trust and seem to admire so much seem to believe it.
That doesn't mean it's right. Police tend to have blinkers on. they get set in their ways and it's a nice neat package, isn't it?
As a lawman, how difficult is it to see the man who caused all that pain and did nothing to solve this terrible mystery walk away?
I think punishment comes in a lot of ways. And yeah, let's break it down. This was the person that he claimed he loved. He just dumped in the bush in an unmarked grave and let his family go through this suffering. So he can deal with that.
The family believes that he did more. The family believes that he's responsible for the death of Matt. Is there any way that he's lied again, that somehow he's convinced you that his lie is the truth?
Yeah, look, it's a matter for the coroner to determine on whether the truthfulness of his account, but I'm not naive. We interviewed this person and we interviewed him with the view of catching him out with inconsistencies, and the information that he has provided isn't contradicted by any facts that we have available.
But Chief Inspector Jubilant also says there is no evidence to corroborate Atkins' version and says it's up to the coroner to make the final judgment.
Strange, digging a hole again.
Mark and Faye now tend to the palm tree that marked the grave of their son.
He's looked after it for 9 years and 8 months and 8 days.
Salvaged from the national park and now growing in their backyard.
No, now we've got to keep it alive.
It's their mission to nurture it, just like they do when it comes to all memories of Matt. The Leveson legacy may be of unimaginable loss, but it's also one of great strength, born out of immeasurable love. Whatever Michael Atkins' involvement in your son's death, his certain disposal of your son's body, how do you cope knowing he will never face charges on that now?
Most days I have thoughts, evil thoughts towards him. I'm not going to act on those, but I still enjoy my evil thoughts towards him. It's how I cope.
I mean, yeah, you do think, oh, hope this happens to him, hope that happens to him. But as a fantasy, and we're not going to come to his level.
No.
We're not like him. We've got hearts. We care about people. Don't care about him. We've got our son back. We know at whose hand, but we've got our son back, and that's all that matters.
The truth is a broken heart still beats.